Hello everyone and welcome back to Code Every Day. Today we're going to be doing another small project called Coin Flip, and we're going to be simulating coin flips the number of times that the user enters. Now, one of the main things with coin flips is we need an element of randomness. So we're going to do this function called seed random. We have to do this so that it gets a different seed every time and the random number is different every time, and we're going to do it time null, just like that. Now to call this function, we're going to need to include time.h, and just one more thing we'll do right away is stdio.h, and I know we're going to need to use one string function, so I'll do string.h. Okay, now we need to say if argc does not equal 2, because we're using command line arguments again. So if, and command line arguments in C always include the program name as well, so if it doesn't equal 2, then we need to do something. We need to print out our usage. So we can do printf usage coin flip and number of times, just like that. Throw in a new line here. Okay. And we're going to be using one other function called sim flips that we're going to be making. It's going to be void, and then we're going to print out our heads and tails. So we can do heads when we get our values, tails. Now the way we're going to be getting our values is we're going to pass in pointers to this function here. So we're going to need some variables declared here. So we'll do int heads, int tails. And now we're going to write our simFlips function. So simFlips, it's going to take in a number of times, so num times. It's going to take in a pointer to this variable here, so it's going to be a reference to this variable. And another pointer, which is a reference to the tails variable. Then we can have int r, and we can say for int I equals 0, I is less than num times I plus plus. And then we can say r equals rand mod 2. So what this does is it gives us a number between 0 and 1. Or number, yeah, since it's an int, it will be cast to either 0 or 1. So we have the two values we need. So now we can say if r equals 1, we do something, and then else do something else. So what we're first, one other thing that we have to do is initialize these variables just to make sure, because we don't initialize them here, but we should do star heads equals 0, and then star tails equals 0. That means the value at heads equals 0 and the value at tails equals 0. Now if r equals 1, let's say 1 is heads, so we can do star heads plus plus. And we can do the same thing for tails here. So star tails plus plus. And then that's all we have to do for our simFlips function. So now we need to call it with our proper variables. So we're going to use this function string to long, which converts a string to a long int. And we're going to do argv of 1 for that. So that's going to give us our number of times. Then we're going to pass in the reference to heads and the reference to tails. The ampersand means give it the address, not copy the variable. And now, down here, all we need to do is put in heads and tails to fill in the %ds and return 0. Now I think we're good. Let me go ahead and go to this directory. And we're going to go into the C directory. We're going to do gcc-wall coinflip.c. Uh-oh. I forgot a semicolon. Oh, and I need to include random, I think, the header. So let's put a semicolon here. Let me look it up really quick. Let's see. Oh, I need to include that's what it is, the standard library. That's what I forgot to do, because that's where these random functions come from. So now once we do that, oh, and I don't even need to include string, because string to long is in the standard library. So I also forgot, string to long takes in something where it can a character pointer so that it can point it to the last spot that it finished, and it also wants a base. So we're going to do base 10, and we're not going to pass one of those in because we don't need it. And then we're going to go here. We try it one more time. There we go, no errors. So we can do a.exe, and we'll give it like no command line. There we go, a.exe, we'll give it 10. So it flipped it 10 times, we got 4 heads, 6 tails. Let's do like 2034. We got 1,024 heads and 1,010 tails. That seems pretty accurate. You're not always going to get 50-50. So there we go, we just finished our coin flip project in C. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.